Nigeria's non-oil exports drops to $4.5 billion in 2023, says Nigerian Export Promotion Council. Federal government to partner Kebbi State government takes action to support dry season farmers with solar-powered machinery. Plus, oil prices tick up as markets weigh Middle East tensions. Supply focused. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I'm Musa Abubakar, your guide. Now let's begin with World Economic Forum conversations on way forward to the future of growth initiative of the World Economic Forum are reaching conclusions with resolutions being reached. This is as policymakers agree on balancing actions on growth, inflation and structural imperatives on promoting human development as well as ensuring an orderly energy transition and improving global trade.
Focused on reviving the growth needed to strengthen our economies and societies. The Future of Growth initiative, supported by a new framework that looks beyond GDP growth, will be a 2-year campaign to help policymakers and economists share new ideas and best practices to balance growth with innovation, inclusion, sustainability, and resilience goals.
The period before 23 was strange, extraordinary, difficult to analyze by many accounts. In 23, we have seen the beginning of normalization. When you look at consumption, for instance, around the world, I'm not talking just about the euro area, consumption is still a driving force for growth, but the tailwind that we had the benefit of are gradually fading. This very strange, extremely tight labor market, still tight, but a little less, and some of the indices that we use to identify the relationship, particularly between vacancies and unemployment, are changing gradually. So less tightness on the job market.
While still on Davos 2024, Vice President Kashim Shettima says the small-scale farmer is the key to economic emancipation and development of the African continent. During a panel discussion at the sidelines of the World Economic Forum, the Vice President pointed out that sustainable agricultural practices focused on smallholder farmers can help produce more food while caring for the land.
So I believe that Africa holds the promise, and I want to use this platform to seek for partnership. For me, I don't subscribe to the idea of begging, no. We can carry our poverty with dignity. Sure. We can seek for partnership, for friendship, for genuine relationship that will be mutually beneficial to the investors as well as to the African people.
Micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, have emerged as a significant contributor to Nigeria's gross domestic product, serving as the backbone of the economy and driving innovation, employment and economic diversification. Today on Business Express, we will look at the impact of MSMEs on Nigeria's economic landscape, exploring their challenges, successes and potential for further growth. Joining us, it's the #1 entrepreneur, that's the Director General of Small and Medium Scale Enterprise Development Agency, Mr. Charles Odi. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, let's start by you telling us a picture of what the renewed hope agenda is for the small and medium scale enterprises.
So basically, if you take a landscape, you look at the landscape you're talking about, small businesses in Nigeria constitute about 40 million of the MSMEs in Nigeria, and they contribute to 50% of our GDP, are responsible for approximately 60 million jobs, and are responsible for 50% of our industrial jobs. So one of the things that we need to do for these small businesses going forward is to enable them to thrive and enable them to scale. And then the renewed hope for small businesses is democratizing access to finance. So small businesses right now in Nigeria can have access to finance, because we understand that finance is expensive and finance is also very scarce. So small businesses can have access to the finances they need to start, run and scale their enterprises at a single-digit interest rate and at zero capital. We're also looking at democratizing access to markets. We want to make sure that we break all the barriers for small businesses to expand their businesses from the shores of Nigeria to outside Nigeria. And last but not the least, is just helping with the ease of doing business. So which is why, last year on the 1st of December 2023, His Excellency the Vice President of Nigeria inaugurated the Council for the National Council of MSMEs, which has one job: to help ease doing business in Nigeria by setting up a one-stop shop for anyone who wants to get access to information and education to starting and growing an enterprise, and also helping to democratize and remove all the bottlenecks from the government's perspective for business scale.
Is capacity building one of your goals as well for small and medium scale enterprises?
Absolutely. We are actually big on trainings. We're training week in, week out. As I'm speaking to you, a couple of people who are like inmates who are about to be released from the prisons in Osun are getting trainings, so much so that when they are released from the prisons and integrated into society, they have jobs or they have skills that they can fall back on. We also train young people, from students to small-scale farmers. We are very big on trainings, and not just trainings, because when we train people, we also make sure that they have the requisite equipment that they need to start. So for instance, when we train photographers, we provide them with cameras. In many cases, when we train people in food, we provide them with ovens. When we train people in fashion, we provide them with sewing machines. Apart from training, we provide some equipment, and more importantly, we do a lot of monitoring and evaluation to make sure that the trainings that we've started to, the capacity development that we're doing, has a ripple effect on the society and economy at large.
Now, how do you ensure a kind of feedback? Because most of the times you see individuals being trained. At the end of the day, you give them starter packs to start this business, but you give them time, and you discover that most of them will, gradually fold up along the way. How do you ensure feedback to make sure that there's sustainability in the investment you're putting in this young people,
Our feedback mechanism is very robust. We just don't train and throw them into the ocean. One of the things that we do a lot of hand-holding after we train. Also, we don't just train, we train on vocational skills and we train on entrepreneurial skills. And after we train on the entrepreneurial skills, we are also there week in, week out. We organize business clinics where people, for instance, we train 100 people on photography skills, for instance. We also need to teach them how to run photography businesses. And we need to teach them how to run thriving photography businesses. So we have a robust mentoring program where we can get real-time feedback from these small businesses. We have the business clinics where they can meet and talk with people in the same subsector, and then we also have our certified business development service providers who are in each of the different states of the federation, as well as the FCT, where they can meet on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, talk back with, and then report to us on at the National Council whatever it is that is plaguing them to have stunted growth or to want to close down, and then we can address that at the national level, especially with the different states where they operate. I want to also mention that the National Council of SMEs that was constituted by the Executive the Vice President cascade to the different states, and at the state level, all the state governors are the chairman of the different councils, and what we are at those states are the secretariats. So we help to put together a lot of advocacy. We have to put together a lot of feedback that we get from the small businesses to the different state governments to make informed decisions as to the problems that affect the small businesses across the different states.
Now, a lot of, SMEs today are facing the problem of inflation. Then we've seen the exchange rate as well, which is affecting business confidence. What do you intend to do different from your predecessors? Different to make the SME space more thriving?
So inflation basically is about purchasing options. What has happened with the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is we're addressing inflation as a ministry, but from the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, one of the things that we're doing is helping to cushion the effect for the small businesses. So we've launched shared facilities. What that simply means is that we're taking up all the burden to starting running and scaling enterprises across Nigeria. We launched a shared facility in Abuja with over 150 machines. What then happens is that a small business in fashion can walk into a space, get access to a loan, go out there, buy the raw materials and come back and get the raw materials, from raw materials to finished goods, because they have equipment there that they can work with. Beyond that, we've signed in very, very good memorandum of understanding with logistic businesses, which means that they can also distribute their products from finished goods to anywhere they need it to be in Nigeria. It is something I've themed 0 to 100. It means they come in, get access to funds, buy raw materials, bring raw materials and process it in our facility, and also we have got warehousing where we can warehouse some of these finished products and then help with distribution across Nigeria. What this does is this takes the burden from buying equipment for the small business owners. It takes the burden of maintaining the equipment for these small business owners, and basically just helps to drive the cost of producing their finished goods and running businesses in general in Nigeria.
Now tell us about the walk-in MSMEs clinics. How are they structured for industrial revolution?
It's just basically like a hospital or clinic. If you're a sick patient, you go to the hospital and then ask to see a specialist. Very similar to this. If you have a problem with whatever sector it is, we've set up two things. One is the one-stop shop in terms of government regulations. So in that one-stop shop, we have our sister agencies like the Standards Organization of Nigeria to help with standardizations. We have got NAFDAC, we've got CAC, we've got NEPC if you want to export. So you can go into that one-stop shop and then, whatever it is that you've got a problem with that is contributing to your stunted growth as a small business, you can almost immediately get information and education. You can also send an email to us. We can then look at because we like to be moved with data. So if we get a lot of information as to bookkeeping, what we then do is then we organize in-house for that week. Everyone who is in bookkeeping they come and they get the general attention that they need, and then they speak with seasoned experts that can help to address their businesses. Also, we've got certified business development service providers who helps to go into some of these businesses to help to address whatever issue that's constituting to the stunted growth of the small businesses. The issues can vary from legal to bookkeeping to digital to marketing and communications. We've got certified business development experts that go into these businesses to help to address whatever it is that is making this business to suffer. And then at the national level, we take whatever it is that this business development service providers cannot address, we take it as government and then try to reform policies that can help ease or cushion the effect to starting, running and scaling enterprises across Nigeria.
Now recently, before I let you go, you launched this undergraduate internship program at, is it Base University? Can you give us a picture? What does it mean? How does it address the issue of MSMEs or prepare young people for life after school?
So I started my business as a teenager, right? I started at the age of 17, and what I did as a student back in university is I looked around me and I looked for a problem that I could solve. At the time, I went to a private university. It was called Covenant University, where you could get suspended for not wearing a necktie, and you could get suspended for not tucking your shirt. A lot of people have seen this as a problem. So what I saw was a solution. And what I did was, even though we couldn't leave school like other government-owned institution could do, I learned two things. I learned how to take measurements, and then so what I did was I took measurements, and when I went home on holiday, I got tailors to come to the school, and I gave them the measurement, and I began a business. And almost immediately, I wasn't looking at my pocket money. That's the kind of mind shift that we want to do for students. And also, because I had an opportunity to go for industrial training, I'd also learned how to run effective businesses at global best standard. What we're doing with this is many of our entrepreneurs who will be churned out of the tertiary institution with our communication and conversation and partnership that we'll be striking with NYSC. We want to turn these entrepreneurs to have that mindset for stop looking for jobs, but also start creating jobs. So many of them are going to become entrepreneurs, but many of them have never worked in structured environment before. So we're giving them an opportunity while they're students to get the opportunity to go and work in structured environment, to learn how to run organizations, to learn global best practices, and to learn service. So by the time that they're done and at the tail end of their NYC, they're getting them to be structured entrepreneurs, they can then apply the knowledge that they've learned from having gone on this industrial training and internship to the businesses that they want to run. And so what we're doing is, with the Office of the Special Assistant to the President on Student Affairs, we've launched this innovative studentship program, leveraging our reach to 40 million small businesses. What we've done is we're creating spaces for these small businesses to grow into this, creating spaces for these students to go into these small businesses, to learn how to run small businesses, so that they can actually get that experience, and then when it's time for them to even start businesses, they know what to do.
Thank you very much, Director General, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, Charles Ode. We wish you the best in your renewed hope objectives.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Now moving on, gold prices were set on Friday for their worst week in more than a month as the dollar and treasury yields strengthened after U.S. central banks pushed back against expectations of early rate cuts amid signs of resilience in the economy. Let's now see the prices of other commodities. Still on commodities, oil prices rose on Friday as geopolitical tensions and oil output disruptions in the U.S., the world's biggest producer, caused by cold weather, overshadowed concerns about slow Chinese demand growth and forecasts for ample supply. Brent crude futures rose 2 cents to $79.12 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were up 13% to $74.21. Both benchmarks climbed about 2% on Thursday as the International Energy Agency joined the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries in forecasting strong growth in global oil demand this week. WTI is on track to rise about 2%, while Brent is set to gain 1%. The Kebbi State government has set machinery in motion to fulfill its agricultural pact with the federal government by distributing 6,000 solar-powered water pumping machines, power tillers and other farming implements to dry season farmers. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar carried a flag of the distribution in Suru local government area of Kebbi State. Abdul Jalil Mohammed Bawa reports.
Since the federal government declared a state of emergency in the agricultural sector, Kebbi State has been in the forefront of boosting food production. With the recent pact signed with the federal government and Ekiti State, the governor under Kaura Agricultural Development and Growth Agenda is boosting dry season farming with the distribution of 6,000 solar-powered water pumping machines, tillers, and other farm inputs. Minister for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, was on hand to distribute the input to the farmers.
Supporting farmers with these implements and solar water pumps, the state government is taking a huge burden off the farmers and enabling them to cultivate and tend their crops. This kind of supportive intervention is in line with the call by Mr. President.
Governor Idris warned against the aversion of the input and directed security agencies in the state to arrest anybody found diverting or selling the implement.
Today is a marvelous day, a day that I won't forget as a dry season farmer, presenting me this solar system to get water without a kobo.
It's an effort that the government has made. It will make enormous contribution on the production of large farm produce.
The farmers are hopeful for an all-year-round harvest. From Suru local government area of Kebbi State, Abdul Mohammed Bawa.
Acquainting public servants with the necessary knowledge to enable them have better understanding of financial regulations, fiscal responsibility, and procurement laws is said to be critical in achieving better service delivery. This is the direction the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons is taking at a seminar to train staff of the Commission for the implementation of the 2024 budget with a focus to achieve the President's renewed hope agenda.
Is to enhance the knowledge of our people, enhance the knowledge of our people in the accounts, enhance the knowledge of our people even in the service of the commission, so that we can brainstorm, so that we'll look at the inside of this budget and see how ready we are. As any moment from now, this budget will be unveiled.
The financial regulations, the Procurement Act, and the Fiscal Responsibility Act. If you look at this holistically, it's just about the implementation of the budget in accordance with the extant laws.
And now to the stock market is cherry news for investors as the all-share index crossed the 94,000 mark, extending bullish run in the week. A total of 844 million shares value at 15 billion naira. Exchange hands in 15,255 deals. Equity capitalization increased to 51.7 trillion naira. European stocks cautiously higher this Friday as World Economic Forum in Davos draws to a close. Let's see performance of all the stocks across the globe. Well, this is where we end Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on the NTA's channel. Business Express returns Monday at 3 p.m. I'm Musa Bakar. Enjoy your weekend.